City Council, Council as a whole committee. I now call this meeting to order. Please be advised that FATV is conducting the audio and video recording of this meeting for public broadcast. I would ask that anyone in the audience who is recording this meeting to please identify themselves for the record now by standing and stating your name and city of residence. Seeing none, at this time I ask that all electronic devices be placed into silent mode. And Councillor Cragen, would you lead us in the salute to the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Councillor Cragen.
Here.
Councillor Cruz.
Here.
Councillor Di Natale.
Here.
Councillor Fleming.
Here.
Councillor Green.
Here.
Councillor Schultz.
Here.
Councillor Van Hazinga.
Here.
Councillor Walsh.
Here.
President Zarella.
Here.
Councillor Boschman.
Here.
And Councillor Kuchar.
Here.
We have a full bill of 11 members.
Thank you very much. We have no one signed in remotely for public forum. Now, I know we have a lot of people wishing to speak. You will all be able to approach the center podium, identify yourself by name and city of residence, and the agenda item on which you wish to speak, and you will be given your 2 minutes. The only thing I ask is that you, because we have so many people wishing to speak, you please try to stick to new remarks. If you have something that substantially echoes what the person before you said, you can come up and say, I agree with what's been said by so-and-so. Of course, you can say whatever you want. This is just a request. I'm not trying to stifle anyone. It's just we can get down to business and have still heard everyone's opinions faster if we stick to one person saying each thing and a bunch of people agreeing rather than 5 people saying the same thing 5 times. And with that, if the first speaker, whoever that may be, would like to approach.
Council,
welcome.
Good evening. My name is Thomas Dadio Jr. I presently reside in Salisbury, Massachusetts. For you, those of you who don't know me, retired Fitchburg firefighter. I'm presently the chair of the Fitchburg Retirement Board, and I was one of the founding and previous chair of the Public Employers Committee, referred to as the PEC. I'm here before you tonight to ask for your opposition to the acceptance of Mass General Law, Chapter 32B, Sections 21 through 23. The reason for my opposition is that it would drastically alter the health insurance negotiations for active employees and retirees. The city already has established Mass General Law, Chapter 32B, Section 19. Section 19 provides the vehicle for negotiating health insurance and includes representation from all unions and includes retirees. This has worked since its inception in 2009. The PEC has made several concessions over the years, including the inception year and the past 2 years, saving the city millions of dollars over that time. The language that is in the city's letter to you is somewhat misleading. It states that the city is obligated to meet with the PEC and attempt to come to an agreement. What it doesn't say is that the obligation to negotiate is only for 30 days. After that, the city is allowed to implement their proposal of plan design and move towards the GIC or a GIC lookalike plan. This eliminates the PEC negotiation and eliminates the retirees' protection. It would allow the city to reduce retirees' coverage splits and plan design. Retirees will be at the mercy of the city and could go to a 50-50 split or much worse. Most retirees make less than $35,000 a year. Some less than $20,000 a year. And still
I'm sorry,
some less.
sir, I have to cut you off. Your time has expired.
I'll be available if you have any questions, and thank you for your service to the city.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Anna Farrell, a Fitchburg resident for nearly 50 years. I'm a retired Fitchburg municipal employee, having worked for you for 25 years, with 20 of those as your city clerk. I now serve my fellow retirees as an elected member of the Fitchburg Retirement Board. I speak tonight with my personal opinion and on behalf of the retirees, for whom I am proud to advocate. I voice my opposition to petition 30-25. Since 2009, the city has successfully negotiated health care plans and rates with the Public Employee Committee, the PEC. This process protects the interests of our retired employees. We have a seat at the negotiating table with a 10% vote. Retirees have no other voice in this literal life and death issue of health care, and yet we are the most vulnerable. The petition before you, if approved, would eliminate the likelihood of good faith bargaining with the PEC. If you take away the bargaining process of the PEC, retirees lose the ability to protect their health care premium split with the city. Increasing the split to 50-50, for instance, which would be on the table as a possibility, would be financially devastating to many retirees. When you first think of us, Fitchburg retirees, the more highly paid employees may come to mind, those with whom you had frequent contact, the department heads. But let's remember the clerical workers, the DPW laborers, the paraprofessionals, the rank and file. Those retirees do not have high pension amounts. Those people, the majority of your retirees, will be adversely and disproportionately affected by rate increases. Please protect our voice at the table by opposing petition 30-25. Thank you.
Before we take our next speaker, hello, I just wanted to note, it occurred to me that everyone here may not be aware, the lights on the podium, when it goes from green to yellow, that means you have 30 seconds remaining on your time. That's just for everyone to know, so that if you're not as far along as you had intended to be, you can come up with a summary or something. It's for your benefit. Go ahead.
My name's Brian Green. I live in Fitchburg. As most of you know, I've worked for the city for 25 years. I'm soon, hopefully, be able to retire, but I'm thinking of the retirees as well as myself, putting in all our time and money that we have put into negotiating, everything else. If this goes away, we have nothing other than a pension, and it's not that much. And I have other people behind me outside the windows that feel the same way. All I ask is that you vote against this, please, so that we all get a chance to have the negotiations and keep it going. Our premiums already went up twice this year. I mean, how much more can we take? We're trying to do what we can to negotiate in goodwill with you guys and verifying everything and making sure everything works for all of us. My first 2 years with the city, or actually 2 contracts, we got 0 across the board. We gave up a lot of things. That was back in 2000. And we did it out of faith that we were going to keep going. A lot of our stuff is volunteer, is what we consider it, because we're civil service. We do a lot, just like you do. I just ask you, please vote against it. Thank you.
Good evening, Council President Zarella and all the members of the Fitchburg City Council. My name is Debbie Dion. I am a Fitchburg resident. I am a homeowner, a taxpayer, and a registered voter. I enjoyed a 34-year career teaching in the Fitchburg Public Schools, retiring on June 30th, 2013. Thank you for allowing me to speak with you this evening. My brief message is simple. I respectfully request that you choose not to dissolve the PEC and force employees into the GIC or a GIC lookalike. Please respect the bargaining rights of all retired teachers, retired employees, and all of the city unions, and protect our right to quality health care. Thank you for considering my request. Thank you.
Do we have any further speakers? Oh.
Hello, folks. My name is Kerry Simus Jr. I'm a recently retired police officer of the city of Fitchburg. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a homeowner. And in echoing what Tad and Anna and everyone else has said up here, I had a thought on the way over here, because I understand we're in a tough situation financially. But I have a thought. Teachers, firemen, police, DPW, we protected this city. Some 40 years, some 30 years. Teachers protected our kids. Fire department protected your houses, and we protected you. And I would ask that you protect us a little bit and give us a seat at the table. I know it's tough, but we protected you, and we did a good job. So I would ask that you guys look out for us. Thank you.
Further speakers at this time? All right, seeing none. In light of the volume of people who are here for 3025, unless anyone on the council objects, I would suggest that we take 3025 out of order and defer 2925 to the end of the meeting.
No objection.
All right, no objections. Okay, in that case, Madam Mayor, if you would like to present your petition.
Good evening, councilors. We are reporting to the council that the parties met today and we had a productive negotiation session. We believe we have come to an agreement in principle in our meeting again tomorrow. We are requesting that the City Council hold on voting to implement the process under Chapter 32B, Sections 21 through 23, until the parties are able to ratify an agreement.
And we are here to answer any questions if you have them.
Councilor Cruz.
I don't have any questions, but I do just want to make a very brief statement. And I'm really glad to see all of you here today. It's really terrific to see everybody who cares about this community and cares about one another. It's very encouraging. It's incredibly encouraging to hear that there was a productive conversation today regarding the negotiations. Obviously, this is probably the most contentious issue that I've come across in my short time on the council. So I wanted to do my best to do my due diligence. I spoke with people at the table, outside the table, with skin in the game, without other communities who have adopted these chapters. And all these conversations that I won't bore you with, one question was asked of me that I couldn't shake, and that was, has the city and have you done everything at your disposal to cut the deficit without going after your employees' health care? And the answer is not yet. So I'm incredibly encouraged to hear that we're going to keep this at the table. I think that's where everybody wants it. And I would be more than happy to leave this on hold and let the parties come together and have a good negotiation. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor.
Thank you. Councilor Giannatali.
I would recommend that we do not hold it, that we get rid of it.
This was submitted as a preemptive strike against the employees of the city. This was submitted
I appreciate the enthusiasm, but let's hold applause just so that we can let our counselors speak.
This was submitted as a preemptive strike. The intended effect of this petition has already been had. Whether we vote for it, we don't, the message has been sent to you folks. Get in line or face the consequences. This was done to scare you because it's premature. The PEC has given no indication in their actions and their words that they're not willing to discuss further. And as we just heard now, there is light at the end of the tunnel, meaning this wasn't necessary. I apologize to all of you for the pain you've gone through the last 2 weeks needlessly, because if we just kept going with the negotiations, this wasn't necessary to go forward. And if we hold it, it's still that hammer dangling over your heads. Because what the city's going to say is, that's still on the table. You either do what we want, or we're just going to exercise it. Council's going to do it. By getting rid of it, it's no longer a threat in the negotiations. Until you folks make an agreement with the city, it's a threat. Whether it's held or passed, it's out there. And I don't like that. That's not good faith. Now, I have been in finance for 25 years. I am the longest serving member of this council. I was here during 08, 9, 10, 11, when you folks took it on the chin repeatedly. No increases. I find it disingenuous, the letter that the mayor submitted. She references two of the main reasons why we're in this position, with no context, because it's intentional. She says that we didn't fund the trust in FY 22, 23, and 24 at the desired levels, which, by the way, were insufficient as they were, too. Even if we funded them at those levels, we'd still be in trouble. What the letter doesn't say is, what was the variation between what the city funded the trust and what the cooking company folks said to fund it at? $4 million. So I asked the auditor, where's that money coming from? What was going on in 2021, 22, and 23? Does everybody remember what happened those 3 years? A massive global pandemic that shut the city down. That's why the city didn't fund the trust at the required levels. They increased it. They didn't increase it at that level because they had no money coming in from Great Wolf, no money coming in from the landfill. Context matters. Because the way the letter is written, it suggests that the city was malfeasant and haphazard with the trust. And that is a blatant falsehood. And anybody here who's going to use that as an excuse, where were their $1.3 million in annual cuts that they submitted to this council? As my colleague, Councilor Cruz, said, we haven't done the work. I've submitted cuts. Maybe a couple others have. But most of us, you're lucky if we can cut 100,000. So where was the prior administration supposed to get $1.5 million a year? Where was it coming from? I'd ask the mayor that question. The best she could come up with as a councilor is toiletries and hand soap for City Hall employees. So that tells you that there's not a lot of fat in the budget. And this premium holiday, that's a shot at you folks. You didn't ask for that holiday. The prior administration gave it to you. Why did they give it to you? Because when they gave it to you, the balance was $10 million. And it was during the pandemic. You folks were taking it on the chin, and they wanted to give you a break. And after giving you that break, the fund still had $6.5 million left in it. And that fiscal year, we contributed $15.5 million into the trust, which was a $528,000 increase over the prior year. So each of those years they increased the fund, but not at the levels they were told to, because the money isn't going to grow on trees. That premium holiday, I will say this as the former chair of the Finance Committee, in early 2024, when this first came to light, it hit us like a brick. We didn't expect this. Nobody saw this coming. Not even the actuaries saw this coming. As chair of finance, I asked the auditor, the former treasurer, and the former HR director what happened, because our former auditor
was so conservative with budgeting it made me sick. Okay? I said, what happened? How did we miss this? Oh, well, we didn't miss it. It's being felt throughout the state, throughout the country. It's COVID. It's costs are way through the roof. It's inflation in 50 years. Its rates are going up at astronomical levels. I didn't hear any explanation as to a premium holiday or the trust not being funded at the levels they were told to. That was all missed until this point. Now we're coming. Now we found God, where we're going to say that's the reason. It's not the reason. All right. If it was the reason, we would have been told it a year and a half ago, and I'm upset about it because as chair of finance, I feel like I was misled. That was never communicated to us. This is what happens when you don't take leadership and ownership. You point the finger. It's nobody's fault this happened. It's not your fault. It's not the city's fault. It's just the sign of the times. And I will say, when I said that this is premature, if you look at the trust fund right now, the average annual expenses is $2.5 million. The average annual monthly revenues is $2.2. So there's a projected deficit of about $250,000 a month until we get to the end of the fiscal year. If we get to the end of the fiscal year at the current levels, it'll finish at $2.5 million in the black, which is dangerously low. No one denies that. My problem is this is premature, as just was proven by the statement made by the treasurer. My question for these folks is, I'm told that there were concessions made in October. Is that correct? Did the unions agree to concessions? They weren't at the concession levels that you sought, correct? But they were met you halfway or some avenue, right?
14.77%.
What does that mean? That their rate went up? Their contribution went up 14.77%? What does that mean?
No, 14.77 is how much was recognized out of what we originally proposed.
What do you mean by recognize? What is it?
That's how much the concession was, percentage-wise, of the $2 million.
The city moved to 85%. 85.23.
And so I asked you folks, and Ms. Horn, you responded to me. You said that the impacts of those concessions are not going to be sought, are not going to be realized until 6 to 12 months after this past January, so fiscal year 26. So the projections for this fiscal year do not account for those concessions in October, correct? Because they're not going to happen until after the fiscal year's over.
Sue, do you want to speak to that?
Yeah. So,
Can we please introduce ourselves?
Yeah, can we just get an introduction for the record,
sure.
please?
No one
And I
say-
apologize. I have absolutely no voice. But I'm Sue Shalou from Cook and Company. So the benefit modifications that were made went into effect January 1st. And as of January 1st, correct me if I'm wrong, Michaela, but the rates, the premium rates, were reduced by 3 to 4% from what was implemented last July. So the funding going into the trust account on an ongoing basis starting in January reflects those copay changes that were made.
So what is the benefit I'm hearing about 6 to 12 months after? What am I missing here?
Well,
Because I asked, because it's a concession. A concession to me means that they gave up something and they improved the city's position. It may not be at the level the city sought, but it's partway there. So where do we see that benefit in FY25, or do we see it until FY26? Like, what's the benefit to the city that they arrived at?
yes, so within FY25, you'll probably see a couple of months worth of those changes or the effects of those changes.
Yep.
But you obviously won't see a whole 12 months worth because of when it's implemented and also because of the lag in claims that come through.
Okay, so you answered my question. So right now, the average expense of $2.5 million versus the average revenue intake of 2.2 is not really factoring in those concessions they made in October. You said at best maybe a couple of months, but we're not going to see the full scope of it until next fiscal year. So my next question is, what's the dollar value we're talking? From the revenue side of the trust, what they gave up, what does that mean dollarized for the city on an annual basis or a monthly basis? Like, I'm expecting when I hear a concession's made, the revenues are going to improve because they gave up something. You're shaking your head. That's not true? So what's the point of what they did?
Well, because of the concessions, the revenues are going down because the premium rate went down. So the premium has gone down. But the claims that are associated with that, the savings on those claims hasn't been recognized.
So their premium went down?
Yes.
So where's the concession? Or am I missing something?
Let's
Folks,
let's keep the gallery in order.
maybe I've
The
had a long
concession
day or
was some plan design changes.
The concession was some plan design changes.
plan design changes.
My name is Tom Costello. I'm counsel for the city.
Okay, so the unions agreed to plan design changes, and in exchange, we dropped their premium.
I think
The premium takes effect now, but the plan design changes may not take full effect until next fiscal year.
the plan design changes went into effect in October of 2024. January 2025.
Okay, so I'm sorry, folks, I'm taking a lot of time here, but I'm trying to understand this. What is the statement, Ms. Horn, you told me about 6 to 12 months we won't see something happen from that time until then?
So the plan design changes that were implemented in January,
Yep.
those claims that fall under those plan design changes will not actually be recognized or hit our fund until 6 months to a year later.
So is it fair to say that there are going to be benefits in the future to the city's revenue side once we realize those claims with those new plan design changes?
Absolutely.
And how much is that? What's that number?
Sue, can you talk about how, like, the incurred but not reported works and how that kind of 3 to 6 month lag in claims, or maybe it's longer than that?
Yeah, sure. So, because there's a lag in when claims are incurred and when they're actually paid, that's why I was saying it's going to be several months before you see the impact. When the rates are set for fiscal 26, the changes that have been made and any future changes will be reflected in the rates that are set for FY26.
So I just realized why Ms. Cronin was shaking her head about revenues. It's not the revenues, it's the expenses. The expenses should go down or go down somewhat when those claims that catch up with the new plan design changes go into effect, correct?
Both the expenses and the revenue goes down.
Goes down.
Because in anticipation of the expenses going down from these changes that went into effect in January, the funding rates were also reduced to reflect those anticipated expense reductions.
So what is the concession then? I'm trying to understand, folks, when I say concession, I hear that and I say that there is some benefit to the city that the employees gave up. It sounds like it was a wash. They dropped their premium rate, and then we dropped the expenses when the cost claims come in. So I'm trying to understand, what was the net benefit in the trust by these negotiations on a monthly or an annual basis? What's the estimated number? What did we gain from this that they gave up? Did we gain anything?
The budgeted amount in FY24 for health insurance was $17 million. The budgeted amount for health insurance in FY25 was $21.5 million. So that's a $4.5 million increase. The concessions that have been in effect in January are approximately worth about $300,000 for FY25. That's why we
$300,000.
That's why we agreed to come back to the table immediately after the holidays to continue on negotiations to make more movement.
So the estimated improvement in FY25 from those concessions is only $300,000. Okay, that's clear to me now, but I'll just close with this, that I looked at the state's GIC website, and I know we're going to discuss later on the meals tax, and one of the arguments for doing that is, well, 2/3 or 3/4 of the state does it, so why shouldn't we? Well, I could use that argument for this, in the opposite. You go on the state GIC website, there's 11 cities that are on the GIC and 27 towns, 38 communities out of 351, 10.8%. 89% of the state is not on it. And partly that's due to the fact that that insurance is substandard. So I read in the state law that if we do this and move them all into the GIC, the law says something to the effect of, and I'm paraphrasing, that whatever benefits or savings we realize, we have to give it back at some point, in some part to the employees. Did I read that correctly?
Yes, there is, yes.
25%.
25%.
25%. So what would be the savings to the city if we moved them all onto the GIC? What would that do? Would that eliminate the healthcare trust fund?
Moving on to the GIC would eliminate the healthcare trust fund.
Correct.
Yes. And I think the savings, there's a dollar value in the savings, moving on to the GIC plan design.
So it's not 21 million.
Not 21 million.
It wouldn't be the whole balance of what we put in the budget. What would our budget be if we threw them all into the GIC? What would our budget be in FY26?
So we haven't done that calculation yet. We're hoping to, not have to move into the GIC and continue negotiations, which we have done today.
All due respect, we need to know that. I mean, we're talking with people's lives here with their health insurance. How am I supposed to make a decision if I don't know what the opportunity cost is if we don't do this?
So here's the thing with the GIC right now is not the goal to move into Section 23. By the City Council adopting 21 through 23, it gives the City of Fitchburg the tools that it needs in the case that it needs to use these tools to save the health insurance benefits of the employees of the City of Fitchburg and save the services and the jobs of the City of Fitchburg.
It's a preemptive strike, and it's a threat to the employees to do what we say to do, or they're going to pay the price. You can spin it however you want, but that's how it comes across. So I just asked that simple question. I'm surprised we don't know the answer to that. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it because that would mean you're going to do. You should know what that number is. What is the savings to the city? These people deserve to know that. What are we going to save operationally in our budget if they all go on the GIC? What is that number?
Yeah. So, first of all, the GIC just voted their FY26 rates on Thursday of last week. There are 8 plans for the active employees, and there are 4 plans for the Medicare retirees. Those 8 plans have significantly varying premiums. The cost or the savings to go into the GIC depends on where your employees would enroll. So there could be a situation, a conservative approach, where it could cost the city money. And then there could be a less conservative approach, where there could be a savings.
So you nailed where I was going with this. That just moving them onto the GIC does not necessarily guarantee there's going to be savings, correct?
That's correct.
Really? So what if in the event we don't have savings, now they have substandard health insurance? Now where are we? That's another reason why I'm against this whole situation, because we can't, since you folks can't guarantee or tell us an estimate or a range of here's what the low end in savings is or negative impact, and here's the best case scenario, well, you can flip that around and say, okay, let's be conservative and let's assume it's not going to save us anything. Can you understand now why these folks are upset? They don't know what's going to happen.
I think it's a GIC, but there's also a separate section where you would go to a GIC lookalike. I think there is some savings we've gamed out if we were to do the plan design changes as the GIC's plan design is. Is that fair to say, M.G.L?
Yeah, that's correct.
So I think there's the 21 through 23 voting right now would just give the city it begins the process. It gives the city the option to begin that process and start that process under the statute. But there's a lot of work to be done if that vote is made.
Even if I were to support this, I wouldn't do so for the mere fact that I'm going into this blind. I don't know what this is going to result in. I'm in financial analysis. The first question that they ask you in any time of analysis is, what's your low range, your high range, and your medium range? And we can't get that information. We don't know. And I understand it's because we don't know what the employees would select for plans, but you know what the plans are. Do some scenario analysis. But we don't have that. So I could vote for this, we all could vote for this, and then end up, because it was already stated, there is a possibility we're still going to be in the red, and they're screwed.
Yeah.
I will close with this. I am not voting for this, and I would urge, and I'm not going to vote to hold it. Okay? I want this taken off the table, especially after what we just heard. Councilors, take it off the table and let them get back to business. Because this is something you do when that side of the aisle goes, go pound sand. They haven't said that. They're telling me they want to meet every day. They don't want to go on the GIC. So I'm not voting to hold this. No, I'm not having this hang over their heads. That's wrong. But I already said it before to everybody, the damage is already done. You folks have been put on notice. Whether it's held or passed, it's hanging there. So do what we say or face the consequences. That's the message. They can spin it every way they want, but that's the message. And again, to you folks, when you read that letter, understand the city was the best managed in 8 years over that period. It's not because of what happened 8 years ago or whatever. If it was, we would have been told. This is how do we pass the buck, because I don't want to take the heat. The reason this happened is the rates skyrocketed, the cost claims skyrocketed, people weren't going to the doctor because of COVID, and they all started going. That's why it happened. That's it. So I'm a no on passing it. I'm a no on holding it. I'm a yes on getting rid of it.
All set, Councillor?
Yes.
Thank you. Councillor Van Hazinga.
Thank you, Mr. President. Very encouraged that the city and the PEC took the time to get together and further negotiate today. I'm glad is it fair to say a preliminary agreement, or what's the wording, an conceptual agreement?
We have an agreement in principle.
An agreement in principle. I'm very happy to hear that, because I think the best possible resolution is that the parties can get together and come to an agreement that makes this system work. So I encourage that we hold this and that we flesh out this agreement, we finalize it, and then we can move forward and make sure the city is financially stable and the health trust fund is financially stable and the employees and retirees are receiving the benefits that they need. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Green.
Yes, I would just like to take a couple of moments to read statements from people who could not be here tonight. And this is from Liz and Dave Keys, retirees and Fitchburg residents. We are grateful for all the work our public employees have put in working on our health insurance. No one else will have our back no matter what promises are made. Once this is adopted, we will not be able to go back. Please think of the consequences and vote no. Thank you, Dave and Liz Keys, both retirees and both Fitchburg residents.
Councillor? Just for the sake of consistency with past practice, I'm going to ask you to make a motion to read papers.
Oh, okay. I'd like to make a motion to read 2 papers.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Do I have any objection? Seeing none. Go ahead. Thank you. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure that I'm consistent.
No, thank you. And I do believe that we all received this from Ms. Amico. I am a retired Fitchburg public school teacher. I barely survived Prop 2.5. I am now in my 80s and feel like you are going to put a nail in my coffin. I don't have Medicare, and I don't know what to expect from my Blue Cross Blue Shield coverage. I don't want to start over with another health plan at my age. Sincerely, Emily Amico. I also do want to recognize the employees who have put in the time and effort I've got employees sitting in front of me that have been retired for 20 or 25 years. I've got people who've served the city for 50-plus years. And what I want to make clear is that I think we owe it not only to our retired employees, but the employees who are now continuing to show up and work and do the job that they're tasked with, knowing that they, at any moment, literally the rug could be taken out from underneath of them. So I will vote no on this at every opportunity, because I do think that it is terrible to have to be in a situation going to a workplace every day where you don't know the outcome, where the responsibility is held by somebody else who doesn't have the answers. So I'll leave it at that and hope that we, as the voting body of this, make the right decision. Thank you.
President Zarella, we have an answer.
Sorry?
We have an answer to the previous question about the cost.
Okay. If there's no objection, this is an answer to Councilor Gianatali's question about the cost of savings of the GIC lookalike. Go ahead.
The total plan design.
So the plan design changes that the city proposed would save $985,000. That is a GIC lookalike that if we implemented 21 through 22 would save the city.
So,
and we also asked to do a 70-30 contribution change for the HMO, and that would increase the savings by $689,000.
Gotcha. Thank you for that additional information.
For a total of $1.8 million.
and just to note that, the proposed rate changes increase for FY26 look like they might be about $4 million. So it's not enough. We still need to look very strongly, and we're still in a precarious situation when it comes to the city finances and budget, but we making movement, the movement that we saw today, and making movement on our, health insurance plan is absolutely a big piece of the puzzle. As Auditor Cronin describes it, a piece of the puzzle that used to fit within the city budget, but the piece of the puzzle has grown so large for the health insurance benefits that it no longer fits within the puzzle of the city of Fitchburg's budget, for example. That's Auditor Cronin's analogy.
Thank you. Councillor, is this solely a clarification on your question, or is this additional?
They finally answered my question. I wish they did my first bite at the apple, because if I talk, it's my second bite.
Well, this is a committee, so you may get more than 2 bites at the apple, depending on how things go. Not unless it's solely to clarify your question, because I do have someone else ahead of you.
I have follow-up to what they just reported. That 1.8, again, is speculative, because as was said earlier, you don't know what the plan designs are going to be.
If there's a comment on it, let's hold it until after the person who was in front of you.
Okay,
but
I'll reserve.
All right, thank you. Councillor Walsh.
I'll defer to Councilor Gianatali and let him speak.
All right, Councilor Gianatali.
So earlier I was told that we can't figure out the savings because we don't know what the employees are going to select for plans.
I think that was an answer to the question of if we were to go to the GIC, we would not be able to, we cannot project that because we don't know who would go to what. But we do have a projection for the GIC lookalike, which is what has been proposed by the city. So we do
so that number of 1.8 is what your agreement.
This was the initial proposal. Well,
Okay.
the initial proposal of this most recent.
Okay, so the question still remains unknown. If we were to move to the GIC entirely, we don't really know what that would mean for the city. Because we don't know what the people are going to select.
Correct. And so the incentive here is to,
avoid that.
Is to not go to the.
No, guys, folks, I understand that. I'm not saying by giving me an answer, you're saying you want to move them there. I just want to know, in that scenario, if we move them all there, what does that mean?
We don't know what it means, and that's exactly why we do not want to go there, because we want to maintain, control over our own health insurance costs with the PEC, not against. I think it's been presented as we're us against them, but it's in everyone's interest to work together to get a GIC lookalike, which will help us with the budget. Because if we don't get to that amount, then it's out of our hands, and the city we won't have any control over health insurance costs at all.
I still think that the question is relevant to have certain scenarios for an answer if that were to happen. I feel like you folks are saying that you're not giving us that information because to do so means you're going to go that way, and I'm not saying that at all. I just would like to know what would that scenario cost? It's okay if you can't tell me, but it's also okay for me to go, well, I'm not going to be great about this because I don't know what I don't know. And it was said earlier, there is a possibility we will lose money. So it's a big window, apparently. We could save this, we could lose this. We have no idea because we didn't do that calculation because we don't want to signal we're going that way.
No. The reason we can give you a range, it could cost the city $2 million. It could save the city $2 million.
Got it. And that's all. So I guess that's good enough for me to say, you don't know what the hell's going to happen. Which is why I wouldn't bank on it.
But we do know 21 through 22 would save us 1.8 if we were to implement what we presented for plan design changes in our original proposal.
My next question, I probably know the answer to this, but I have a feeling you already have an idea. What's the deficit look like next year?
It's a multi-million-dollar deficit.
$5 million?
Well, last year it was 4.4, and I don't think any of the news has been positive since then. So not only do we have last year's $4.5 million of one-time money that we used that we're going to have to replace, but then you add another year's costs onto that. So if this is going to go up $4 million, then your deficit's $8 million.
So even with this agreement, we're still significantly in the hole.
That's correct. That's correct.
So
this number is just too big for the city to absorb and get ahead of in 1 year. And it's this is actually year 2 because of we recognized this problem a year ago, and we've really not recognized any significant savings in that year, so it's just gotten worse. And that's why you see the declining balance in the trust fund. So the delay has cost more money.
Is it fair to say that the biggest reason why this has happened to us is because of the rates and cost of health insurance?
That's certainly a factor, yes.
Is it the main factor?
Yes, it's the driving. Yes, if we have I don't know if we have the slides here, but there's a couple of slides that do a good job of demonstrating what's happened over time. In the past 3 years, I think the costs have gone in the trust fund from, 20, let's see, I can't, it's a graph here.
So, no, it's all right.
So two things have happened in the past 3 years. The costs have skyrocketed, and that's not just in Fitchburg, that's in the entire health insurance industry. I mean, you hear about other communities having Prop 2.5 overrides or whatnot. The other thing that's happened is the health trust fund itself has been depleted in order to pay these. So we have a double, and we have a double problem. We have expenses that are going to continue to climb, and we have a health trust fund balance that is close to, well, we have 1 month of solvency. So we have the two things headed in the wrong direction. And the $1.8 million will stabilize our cash flow quickly.
Okay, so I'm focused,
as you've heard,
right.
If we reduce the premium, that's going to stabilize help the city budget a little bit, and those plan design changes that this would represent will eventually result in some lower claims. But while that fix is happening, costs are still going to keep going up. So we not only have to overcome this deficit, but we have to steady ourselves for future healthcare cost increases.
Well, let me ask, why do you guys need this held? Why do you need it held? Sounds to me like you're on the right track. What do you need it held for? Why can't we get rid of it?
Pardon me?
Why can't we get rid of this petition if you have an agreement in principle?
Well, this happened
That is-
hours ago. This has been on the...
And why did this happen? Is it because of this petition?
I don't know, Counselor. I can't answer.
This petition was unnecessary.
That's the purview of the council. If, Tom, would you like to?
Well, I mean, why did the agreement happen? The parties met at 2:30, and the parties, I think, had a productive day of negotiations. And this is our third meeting. We had a productive day today, and we, just as Michaela reported, at about 5:30 or so, we came to an agreement in principle.
Did you say it was your third meeting?
It was our third meeting.
Over how many months?
Third meeting of 2025.
29th, February 11th, and March 4th.
It was the 17th meeting since February of 2025.
That's a better way to put it. It was our third meeting this year.
Okay. It doesn't sound to me like it's an urgent matter to meet every few weeks.
Well, the parties have met. We tried to meet the last week in February. We were unable to come to a date to meet, but the parties did exchange dates, and it is an urgent matter, and the parties, the city at least, has treated it as an urgent matter. We've met in quick succession. We have a meeting scheduled for tomorrow morning, and we are treating it as an urgent matter. The city is treating it as urgent.
Is it a fair statement to say that in FY 22, 23, and 24, the Cook and Company recommended spending levels for the trust were insufficient also?
We recommended rate increases that were higher than what was implemented.
But the rates were higher than what you recommended. That's what we were told.
The rates were lower than what we recommended.
Oh, they were lower. Oh, so we didn't have to raise it at your level.
No. Cook and Company recommended certain premium rate increases, and the city elected to, I think, basically cut them in half. Probably because we had the extra money in the trust fund. We can't really, none of us were at the table can really.
Exactly, Ms. Cronin. We had the extra money in the trust fund. We had no way of knowing the future.
Right.
And I asked you directly, and you answered it. And in all likelihood, the only way we were going to meet those levels is through cuts. During the pandemic years, when we were using free cash to balance, we had a hiring. Yes, we did. In FY 21, 22, 23, and 24, we used free cash. I had to hear Councilor Van Hazigen and former Councilor Squally say it every day.
These premium rate increases that we're just talking about right now were fiscal 22, 23, and 24.
Right, and then in fiscal year 22, 23, and 24, we had to use free cash to balance the budget. We had a hiring freeze in place. We had a reduction in force because of all the lost revenue. And that's why I said to you, if we were to fund it at the levels they recommended in those 3 years, it would have amounted to over $1 million in cuts because the city didn't have the money to fund the trust at those levels. They raised the fund, but they didn't raise it at that high of a level because there were other things going on. And that context is missing from the letter. Make it past other people. You're not getting it past me. This should not be held, folks. Don't hold it. They don't need it held. They don't need it held. They have an agreement in place or in principle. We don't need to do this. Didn't need to do it to begin with. Get rid of it.
You made that clear. Before we go to Councillor Walsh, I just want to let everyone know that at 7 o'clock, I'm going to request that we entertain a motion to recess, not adjourn, recess the council as a whole meeting so that we can gavel in the council for the purpose of giving our students their awards so that they can go home and to bed, and to allow a police officer to be sworn in or for, I believe, a promotion.
Yes.
So that his family can also go home and go to bed. And then we will return to council as a whole and continue deliberating this. That is, obviously, it's a request. It's at the will of the council, but I just wanted to let everyone know beforehand so that it's not coming up right at 7. Councillor Walsh.
Thank you, Mr. President. When this petition was filed, a number of councilors met separately and together with members of the negotiating team for the city and with a number of the unions. And from my discussions with some of the unions, I asked them, what would you like to see happen? And they said, we'd like to go back to the table. And I said, so would you be satisfied if we held this? and a number of the unions said yes. I think that I'm encouraged by the fact that we're going back to the table, although it's a little discouraging that from October to January 29th, there were no meetings held, and from January 29th to now, there have only been 2 meetings. I would think that if this was critical, that those meetings would have been scheduled and held. I think that there's a lot here to discuss, and I think that I think we ought to go back to the table and work out an agreement. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak before I entertain a motion to recess? Councillor Schultz.
I just wanted to ask a question about Section 23. Are you even is the city even in favor of implementing 23, or is it just 21 and 22 that you want implemented?
Councillor, having all the tools in the toolbox helps the city not just for the present, but for the future that we don't know. As Councillor DiNatale noted, we couldn't have possibly predicted the future. We right now don't know where we'll be in 3 years. We don't know where we'll be.
It sounds like, Mayor, that you don't want 23 right now, though. The GIC, you don't want to go to the
So
GIC.
just by adopting M.G.L. 32B 21 through 23, it doesn't force the city into any hand. It just gives the city the tools to be able to take that approach if it absolutely needs to. It's an emergency break glass.
But 23, we may not get any savings, as Councilor DiNatale just said.
As our cooking
So
company.
unpredictable. Why would you want that?
That's why we are not, that's why the goal is not to do that. However, having that tool just in case we need it, especially not just me, not just this mayor.
You could always come back for that tool if you needed that particular tool, right?
We could come back and do this again if we needed to. That's the purview of the council, absolutely. But also just to note, as our cooking company representative noted, it could be a savings of $2 million. It could cost the city $2 million. Going to 23, implementing the GIC, moving to that is the worst case scenario, something we don't wish to do, but it's something that, a tool that we should have at our disposal if we need it. Not just me, not just the next mayor. Who knows what will happen in the future.
You could get that tool at a later date. You don't need it now because the people out here, they don't want to leave Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They want to stay with their insurance. So why would you even put that on the table if you're not even going to use it or you have no plans to use it? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Just to note also, there is discussion of changing carriers from Blue Cross Blue Shield potentially, but yes, right now, the city and the PEC's goal is to continue negotiations, which we have successfully done just this afternoon. And that is our goal for the future as well. But, the last year of, as it was noted, it doesn't seem urgent. It is urgent. It is very urgent. The budget crisis that we are experiencing is, that's a number of factors, but the rise in health insurance is one of the largest factors. And I don't know how I'm going to possibly propose cutting $4 to $8 million worth of services and staff in the city if the worst case scenario were to happen and we couldn't make any negotiation. We couldn't make any movement.
So what you're saying is this $2 million is not enough to.
So
you're reaching this agreement, it's not enough.
So the 1.8 million is a GIC lookalike if we were to implement it, that which is also not the goal. The goal is to continue as we have been under Section 19 with that number one tool at our disposal. If we were to continue to push it, if we had to, we could push it up to 1.8. But as you noted, even that's not enough. But it gets us somewhere. $1.8 million is a lot of firefighter, police, DPW, roads, services. That's a lot of money.
All right.
Yield the floor.
I have some remarks as well, but I'll hold them until after the break. I'd like to entertain a motion to recess the council as a whole meeting.
Motion to recess.
All right, I have a motion and second to recess. Is there any objection? Seeing none, council as a whole is in recess. We are going to immediately convene the full city council. We will probably take a break between city council and going back into council as a whole, just to see if anyone needs to, we'll have time to take pictures and so on. All right. I'm going to go immediately into the full council. We will return to council as a whole as soon as the awards ceremonies have concluded. We just don't want to keep students out until, 9, 10 o'clock at night. All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the March 4th, 2025 meeting of the Fitchburg City Council. I now call this meeting to order. Please be advised that FATV is conducting audio and video recording of this meeting for public broadcast. I've already asked that anyone in the audience who's recording please identify themselves for the record. Has anyone begun recording since then? Seeing none. At this time, I would again ask that all electronic devices remain in silent mode. Councillor Cruz, would you please lead us in the salute to the flag?
With pleasure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Councillor Cruz.
Here.
Councillor Di Natale.
Here.
Councillor Fleming.
I believe she's in the
Green.
restroom.
Here. Councillor Schultz.
Here.
Councillor Van Hazinger.
Here.
Councillor Walsh.
Still here.
President Zarelli.
Here.
Councillor Bolshman.
Oh, right here.
Councillor Kuchar.
Yes.
Councillor Cragen. Here. And have we found Councillor Fleming? Is she back?
She will be.
here.
Not yet, but she is here.
Yeah, sure.
So
Now,
we have 11 members present.
Thank you, and I would like to entertain a motion for suspension of the rules to take I guess it would come up under announcements, out of order prior to public forum. We will still have public forum for the full council when we reconvene to take up actual business.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Is there any objection? Seeing none, we now have our presentations of awards for the poster contest, I believe. Go ahead, Councillor Cragen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to make sure, I know that parking was difficult for some of our folks. Is Elena here? Is Anida here? We may need to move forward with our swearing in so I can gather my troops.
Sure.
Want to swear in first?
I think that might make the
why
most
don't we do
sense.
that since we know we have our
you know those folks
people
are
in
there.
attendance?
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Too grumpy. Not grumpy. Not grumpy at all. You don't think you're grumpy? You're a little grumpy right now.
That's what my brother and his grandchildren call me. Grumpy.
My grandkids call me.
Good evening.
They says no.
All right, hang on. Let me just. Welcome, Chief.
Good evening, Council. Thank you very much for squeezing us in on such a important night here at City Council. I'm very excited. This is the first time I get to appear before you for a promotion. Promotions are really an excellent thing in the police department. Several people changing jobs, people getting new responsibilities. I'm really excited to be able to introduce Mike Lopez tonight. Mike was raised in Fitchburg. He's a Fitchburg High School graduate. Mike received a bachelor's in criminal justice from Norwich University He received a master's degree in criminal justice from Boston University. He's been with us at the Fitchburg Police Department since 2014. He's been a sergeant since 2021. He's had an excellent career. Mike is a natural leader that even before he attained formal rank, he was someone that his peers looked up to. He currently sits atop the eligibility list for permanent police lieutenant, and I'm excited to introduce him tonight. So I appreciate your consideration.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk? I'm going to ask the council to clear the bench as usual for the sake of pictures.
I, Michael Lopez,
do solemnly promise and swear
do solemnly promise and swear
that I will faithfully and impartially,
that I will faithfully and impartially,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
perform and discharge all duties incumbent
on me
as a Pittsburgh
lieutenant
in the city of Pittsburgh,
police officer. Thank you.
Congratulations.
I know we've got a packed house, but take your time taking these pictures. This will only happen once, so make the memories.
Great job. Good. Now we're ready for you. Okay. All right. Let's get this moving.
Hi there. I'd like to call in our dog license poster contest winners. I believe they were in our vestibule. Can everyone come in? So if we can make space for our kids. All right. So come on in. Oh, thanks, Anna. Yeah, come on in. If we can have our students come sit in the front row.
Welcome to the City Council.
Welcome to City Council. I believe we've got Emily and Lydia coming in. Okay, and we've got Adina here. All right, so just to get on with it. This is year 7 of the dog license poster contest. We are the only We are the only community that does this, as far as I can tell, in Worcester County, and really in any direction. And we started this to raise awareness about keeping dogs safe. Keeping dogs safe, and really cats too, means that they get rabies. Hello.
One moment. Can I just ask everyone to take any conversation outside so that we can hear Councillor Cragen as she presents? Thank you.
Thank you. This is a really exciting night because any opportunity we have to showcase the arts in our community and in our schools is really vitally important. So before we introduce our runners, our honorable mention winners and our grand prize winner, I'd like to call up Chief Giannini because part of his duties that we asked him about when he was before us had to do with the dog license poster contest. So please, why is it important that we have this contest?
It's important just because it brings attention to the importance of dog licenses, which can help prevent the spread of rabies and other diseases amongst dogs and cats in the city of Fitchburg. So it's a public safety issue, and I was very excited to be part of it this year.
Thank you so much. And Chief, we're going to have you remain because you will be bestowing the trophies, and we have Mayor Squalier. Would you like to say a few words, because you always put together our poster and it really is lovely. So, and you love dogs.
So I'm really proud of our collaboration here with Be Positive and Friends of Fitchburg Dogs, and Sally Cragen's work in doing this, and obviously the work with our schools and our kids and our police department and the city clerk's office, all collaborating to get this awareness out for, you know, the importance of licensing your dog, or love your dog, license your dog. This year's posters were awesome, and I mean really good, all of them. It must have been very difficult to choose the winner, but I am so excited about the winner. The winner is my favorite yet, so I'll just wait for that. I'll wait to talk about that.
Excellent. I'd also like to call up Mrs. Morrison and Mrs. McGee. Is Mrs. McGee here? I'm not. Awesome. Can I have you two art teachers come up just to say what the experience is like. These ladies actually assigned this in their respective schools. So first we'll hear from Mrs. Morrison and then Mrs. McGee over at Rheingold. They worked really hard, and we brought dogs in for the kids to look at.
Thank you so much for having us. I'm at Crocker. My name is Kelly Morrison. The kids love doing this. Every year they ask, when are we going to do it? I do it in January every year. We learn about all the principles of art, but also we learn about how important it is for a community in taking care of dogs. And the kids are now, because we've been doing this for a number of years, teaching the other kids, the younger kids, about the importance of getting your dog licensed. So we really love our dogs in Fitchburg.
I'm Taylor McGee. I'm at Rheingold's, and Kelly said it perfectly. This was our first year doing it, but the kids really had a really good time. We did it across all the grades, and it's exciting when they get to see, like, they love making art, but they love knowing that other people are going to see their art. So it's really important for them, and it definitely helped them get excited for it. But yeah, they loved this, and she said all the good stuff, so we're good. Thank you.
Alrighty, I would like to ask, and I'm going to get, I've got the artwork sort of reversed here. Elena Frattoni, would you come up, and I'm going to give you your artwork, and then if you would go to the chief, you will get a honorable mention trophy, and you may take a goodie bag. So here, have a stand. This is Elena Frattoni. She's an honorable mention winner. Would you like to say your grade and your school?
Okay.
Yep, right in here.
I'm a 5th grader, and I go to Applewild School.
Great. And this was the first year I think we had submissions from Applewild, so I was very happy to see that this really is a community event. Now, I'm going to ask you, would you hold this up so everyone can see this drawing? All right. right, alphabetically, Anita Jarbath, would you come on up? And this is Anita's picture. Do you want to say what grade you are and what school you're at?
I'm in 4th grade in Cracker School.
Right, and is this...
Do you want them to stay? Do you want
Yes,
to stay?
I would love that because we'll take a group picture. And tell me, now this is her picture. Were you thinking of a specific dog, or what inspired this picture? Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Anita. This is Anita. I saw the A. All right, Anita's picture.
That's cute. So I really love dogs so much, so I drew the dark orange though.
Okay, and now we have Adina's. Adina, come on up. So if you would, this is, just introduce yourself and grade and school.
I'm Adina Kong, and I'm at 5th grade in Crocker.
And what inspired this picture? It was your reaction.
I just thought about some girl holding a dog. I just took inspiration from my friend. She did it like 1 year ago, I think. Now she's in 6th grade, but I think she drew a picture of some girl holding a dog before, so I just wanted to kind of take inspiration from her.
That's really great. This is really beautiful. It's very colorful. So congratulations. All right, Camillus, would you come on down? And I've got your picture here. So, Camillus, I believe you're in 3rd grade. Is that right? Yeah. So, 3rd grade, pretty good stuff. Here is her picture. Ooh, you're getting some oohs and ahs. So, the rainbow, I think that really, we have many layers of judging for this. We start with a group of volunteers. We start with 350, and then the clerk's office, the lady. Where's Joanna? Joanna, the lady with the red shirt. So she and her team then go through everything. Then we bring it over to the police, and then I share images with the Fitchburg Animal Control, and then we finally talk to the mayor. So this little pup has been around the world, kind of. Anyway, so congratulations, Camillus. Bravo. All right, and now we have Cameron. Come on down. So Cameron's picture. Do you want to say a few words about it in your name and your grade?
I'm in 4th grade. My name's Cameron, and I drew a German Shepherd, which was related to my own dog, Rosie. She's also a German Shepherd.
Oh, great job.
So you have a dog and you drew a dog. That's pretty nice. Some of our kids are drawing dogs from imagination or from books, but this was a nice solid piece of work. Well done. Is Ella here? Okay, so Ella Cannon was another honorable mention winner. Her older brother was our school committee student representative last year, so highly talented family. We now come to, I'm going to bring the mayor because I will absolutely get that to her. So Lydia, come on up. Say absolutely. You want to say a few words?
Lydia, your poster was my absolute favorite. It is Dogs in Space. I mean, we see some great posters, but the creativity of Dogs in Space is by far something that we haven't seen yet. I mean, and talk about layers. We have every kind of dog. What is this? Boston Terrier? We got like German Shepherd. There's like a Greyhound jumping over Saturn. I don't know what that guy is. Yeah, this is like a bulldog guy. I mean, this is amazing. Great job. It's so good.
Lydia, would you say a couple of words about what inspired you? Because this is very unusual material. I'll hold it up for the council again. Go ahead, you can just talk.
I took it from a book because I didn't know what to do.
All right, now we'd love...
That's what I do. I know what to do. I take it from books.
That was good laughing, just to be clear.
Yes. Can we get a photograph of all of our winners and our mayor? And let me jump in there, too. So, guys, slide on here. Yeah. So swish in. And hold up your artwork as best you can. Go ahead.
Make sure it's right side up.
Nice.
How am I going to Photoshop?
Everyone smile. You want an award, smile.
Great job. Good job, guys.
Also, I do want to thank Lieutenant Keenan and Captain Jeff, because we couldn't do this without their help. These trophies are from Fitchburg Police Department. They are very classy. Thank you.
Oh, we're taking a break, right?
No, I think we're going to, yep.
Congratulations.
But I got my double.
Can I please have all councilors resume their seats?
Oh, boy.
At this time, I would request to entertain a motion to recess the meeting of the City Council and resume the council as a whole.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Any objections? All right, we are going into recess. We will return at the conclusion of the council as a whole and appointments committee meetings. And we will immediately reopen the council as a whole meeting. All right, welcome back to the council as a whole meeting. I call this meeting back to order. And we will just pick up where we left off. I know most councilors had said their piece at that point. Is there any other councilor who has, Councilor Green?
Yes. I have a question specifically for Mr. Bonilla. I don't know if you wanted to take the podium or not.
I probably can speak loud enough, but
okay.
It'll probably be recorded better if you come to the podium. Welcome.
My question specifically has to do with the Health Trust Fund. The paperwork that we received was from July to the end of December with everything filled in with assets and expenditures, and it gave a balance of $3,523,733. Then I receive an email from Michaela Horn that says that the trust actually needs a reserve of approximately 8 to 10 million. So I'm confused on if the years prior, 21, 22, 23, and 24, have substantiated between $3 and $4 million at the end, why now all of a sudden 8 or 10 is needed?
I think that for the 15 years that I've negotiated on the PEC since its inception, that the rule of thumb has always been 3 times your monthly cost is a healthy trust fund, and that is what we've always strived to do with managing this budget. This trust fund account, not budget. So it is 3 times your monthly cost. That is a healthy trust fund, and that is what we've tried to do since the beginning.
Have we ever reached that?
Oh, yes. We just a year and a half ago, we had much more than that 2 years ago. It has gone down. I agree that we needed to do something. It's just how this happened I disagreed with.
So is this a health insurance issue or is it a budget issue?
I think we have a tentative agreement in place. I think it needs some couple of fine tunings to do. So I think we're in a situation where we might have a settlement in place, but it's a budget issue. It is a city's budget issue. I'm trying to be very careful here. And my clock's not running, so I can't walk away. Yes. Unfortunately, I think, healthcare has become very expensive. It's become very expensive for every community that I could find over the last 2 or 3 weeks of doing some serious research and making calls and pulling up healthcare. It's across the board. We are not costing, the plan that we have is not costing this city any more than any other city is paying for their healthcare, whether the plan is better or not. So it's very difficult to come to the table and negotiate in good faith when we have this weight hanging over our heads of, adopting 21-23 when we've been at the table for 15 years. We've done it really well. We're the best PEC in the Commonwealth, in my opinion. And I'm really proud of the members of the PEC for what we've done. But it's an unfair labor practice to do what happened here, in my opinion.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions, comments? Further questions or comments from councilors? I'll just speak briefly on this. I understand the situation the city is in. This is not going to be a fun budget season. Everyone knows that. I don't think there's anyone, certainly at this bench, at this table, in the room, or even watching at home, who doesn't realize that this is going to be a tough budget season. But I am very encouraged to hear that there's an agreement in principle on the table right now. And frankly, I'm not at all surprised, because I trust our PEC that has negotiated in good faith in the past to do so in the future. And I trust that everyone on the finance team is working as hard as they can to solve the city's financial difficulties. If both parties come to the table in that sort of posture, there's going to be a solution found. Not a magic bullet. No one's got that. But a solution that we can live with. So I think we should stay the course. I think we should continue negotiating. And if at some point both sides come to us and say, look, we're at an impasse, there's no way we can move any further, we need the arbitration process that's provided by sections 21 and 22. I can't speak for the willingness of my fellow councilors, but I can say that as a procedural matter, This council could, in such a circumstance, pass it at a single meeting. There is no scenario in which we conclude that it's necessary, but we can't pass it fast enough. If we were to, not pass it, assuming we don't pass it tonight, which seems to be the consensus of the council, there's no scenario where 2 months down the road we say, oh crap, we really need to pass this, and we're unable to do it rapidly. We can do it in a single meeting. So I want to see this process continue. I want to see both sides bargain in good faith. I want to see both sides looking out for the best interests of the city and its employees, which I know is the goal. Everyone wants the city to remain solvent. I take it for granted that every employee sitting here understands that if the city becomes insolvent, no one wins. And everyone, I believe, wants to see our employees treated well. Certainly, I hope that everyone wants that. Our employees and our retirees. I see every day the work that our employees put in for this city, how they keep this city running. And this applies also to management level employees, don't get me wrong. But I see the work that our employees put in. They give to us, they have our backs, and I think we, not just the council, but the council and the administration, across the board, we need to always have theirs. So I'm encouraged by the progress that's being made, and I hope that this won't need to come back to us. I hope that the next news we hear will be good news. We didn't need this arbitration process. We came to an agreement. That's really all I have to say on the matter. Councillor Boschman.
Make a motion, we withdraw this petition.
Give leave to withdraw without prejudice.
Second.
I have a motion and second to give leave to withdraw. Is there any objection? Seeing no objection, it is given leave to withdraw. Thank you, all of you, for your attendance and participation, both members of the audience and members of the team. And thank you for sticking with us. I know we have a lot to think about and a lot to say. I appreciate you being patient, and I hope that everyone here has a wonderful rest of the evening. We do have one more item on the council as a whole agenda. Sorry?
We have to stay for a meeting.
So in case anyone's wondering, in case anyone's not sure what it means, what we just did, what we did is we basically took this off the agenda. We didn't vote it down flat, which would mean it can't be reintroduced for 2 years, but we took it off the agenda. If at some point in the future the administration feels that it is still necessary, it can be reintroduced and we would vote on it at that time. But for the moment, it is no longer a pending item. Now we have one additional item on our council as a whole agenda this evening.
Mr. President, should we do a quick 5-minute recess, let everybody settle out? Or?
Yep. I have a request for a 5-minute recess. If there is no objection, all right, we will go to recess until 7:42.
And I'm holding everybody to that.
We are now going to resume the Council as a Whole committee meeting. We have one further item on the agenda, and that is the petition of the mayor to accept M.G.L. Section 64L, Chapter 64L, Section 2. This is the local meals tax. Madam Mayor and team.
Thank you. We're here to respectfully request that your honorable body vote to accept M.G.L. 64L Section 2 to implement a local meals excise. If adopted, this action would add 0.75% to the cost of a restaurant meal, amounting to just 75 cents on a $100 meal. As of this time, 259 of the 351 municipalities in Massachusetts have adopted the measure since the legislature authorized the local meals option in 2009. Gardner adopted it in 2024. Leominster is proposing this measure for adoption in 2025. I've attached a spreadsheet sent to you previously showing the local meals excise adopted by communities to today's date. This is being proposed to address several critical needs for our city, including most pressing, roads and infrastructure. While we are launching a comprehensive pavement management program to improve roadwork application and efficiency strategies and working with the state to increase their allocation through Chapter 90 funding, we must also allocate additional local funds for road paving repairs and preservation, pothole maintenance, and snow and ice removal operations. Our Department of Public Works requires significant investment in equipment and facilities to meet these demands effectively. We also have capital needs and facilities challenges. While we're launching a capital improvement plan to address our maintenance and future funding strategies to address our aging facilities and infrastructure, it has become abundantly clear we have immediate capital needs that must be addressed to provide service to our residents and prevent costly future repairs or building replacement. Budget challenges. This city is facing substantial budget shortfalls caused by various factors, including fulfilling obligations on existing construction project bonds, unsustainable rising health insurance costs, and increased net school spending requirements, to name a few. These financial pressures have made it clear that additional revenue is necessary to maintain and improve critical services. Implementing this local meals excise would allow us to allocate much-needed funding to these areas without placing additional burdens on property taxpayers. The funds generated by this excise would come from discretionary spending, ensuring that visitors and residents alike contribute toward improving the city's infrastructure, public safety, and schools. Thank you for your attention and consideration of this important matter.
Councilors? Councilor Walsh.
I have a question. What do you estimate, and I understand that it's an estimate, what do you estimate that this is going to bring in over the course of a year?
The most recent estimate we have from last fall would be about $48,000 per month.
Okay.
Yeah, so it would be a substantial benefit to the city.
Okay.
Councilor Fleming.
When you talk about taxing, are we talking McDonald's or just restaurants, like full-service restaurants, fast food? Any type of establishment that sells food will have this added tax to it? Is that?
That's correct.
It's my understanding that it's particularly hot foods or prepared foods, as opposed to like if you go to Cumbies and buy something in a bag. In a sealed package, that generally will not count.
Right. A McDonald's meal would
right,
be,
exactly.
0.75%.
Yes.
And to note that 0.75% gets added to the state's tax of 6.25%, which goes directly to the state right now. So right now on a $100 meal, you pay $6.25 to the state. Cents that goes directly to the city of Fitchburg.
Mm-hmm. Councilor Fleming, you still have the floor.
When you say hot food, so let's say somebody goes down up to Hannaford's and buys a hot chicken. Is that going to get a meals tax? Is that going to be?
Hannaford's and Leominster.
Huh?
Hannaford's and Leominster.
But at Market Basket, yes.
Okay, Market
Hypothetically, I believe, don't quote me on this, this is not my area of legal expertise, but I believe that, yes, supermarkets do have to charge the meals tax on hot prepared foods that they sell. So if you go to Market Basket and buy one of the hot roasted chickens, you'd pay the meals tax. If you buy one of the cold roasted chickens to take home and heat up, I don't believe that gets charged the meals tax.
To note, per
sales tax, yes.
830 CMR 64H.6.5, sales tax on meals. The sale of a store of quick meals prepared by immediate human consumption, such as hot dogs, hamburgers, pizza slices, or soup, is taxable if heated.
Thank you. Does that answer your question?
It does, thank you.
All right, Councilor James Hawley.
So $48,000 a month times 12 is $576,000. Is that what we're estimating the annual revenue would be?
Yes, it might be 40,000 to be, times 12, 480,000 for the year.
480,000?
Yeah.
So you said
40,000 a month.
a month?
Well, I meant, 40,000 a month, 480,000 for the year.
Okay.
And that was an estimate from last fall.
So $480,000. I'm going to ask again, what is our idea of what our budget deficit is coming up?
Several $1 million.
So with the plan design changes we just discussed, let's say we realize the 1.8, let's say we do this tax and it's 480, how much are we still in the hole by?
Couple $1 million, $1.5. I don't know. I mean, I don't have exact figures for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we're in the multi-millions.
Yes, because we balanced last year's budget with $4.5 million in one-time money. We have not generated any revenues to replace that, so we will look at we're starting with the $4.4 million deficit to start with.
So my problem is not so much with the tax, it's with the messaging as to why we should enact this. Let's be realistic. This money's not going to roads. It's not going to schools. It is in theory because by law it's got to go into the general fund, right? It cannot be earmarked.
Well, it goes in the general fund to be appropriated to whatever you know.
But it's like the excise tax, the property tax. It's
a local receipt.
The cannabis revenue, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
My point is it goes towards the whole revenue pie of the operating budget.
Right.
We're not going to take this money and earmark it to paving.
But right now, what's happened last year with using the one-time money, one-time money should be used for capital.
Yep.
So last year we were not able to use $4.4 million toward capital or one-time expenses because we did not have it in general fund receipts. So basically, we have foregone the use of one-time money that could have gone toward plow trucks, whatever it is.
But even with this, we're still going to have substantial deficit, right?
Yes, but it will mean less, be less one-time money that we're using.
I know, but the way
this is recurring year after year.
But it's being sold to the community like we're going to get extras out of this. We're not getting extras out of this. This is simply going to plug a deficit.
Well,
that's all it's going to do.
Well, that one-time money that you now are not using can be used toward...
In theory, yes. But, I mean, we're not going to... I guess I'm looking at it too generally because I look at this as we have a deficit and this is going to add some revenues to close that deficit. It's not going to go towards anything new, okay, because we're still clawing our way to get to the black. Okay? I mean, I know it goes in the general fund. It goes to schools. It goes to roads in theory. But, the way it's worded, it's like, oh, we're going to have $480,000 to pave more roads. No, we're not. Well, it's not going to go to road paving.
Well, what it will mean is that when we propose the mayor's budget, we'll be able to estimate that receipt for next year, and that will be less one-time money that we have to put into the budget.
I understand that it's less one-time money that would get put towards some capital need, but that's assuming we know exactly what our balance sheet looks like at the end of the fiscal year. We don't know what we're going to have for free cash. We don't know what our deficit is right now because it's early. The letter insinuates that this new tax is going to go to new things that we are not usually able to fund. I'm talking new things. I'm not talking replacing a truck. I'm talking about, we're going to be able to do things with the schools. We're going to be doing things with the roads. No, we're not. This is not going to go to any of that. It's going to go to plug a deficit, which will still be in the millions even after we implement this. I'm just trying to put it in context for the folks. If this passes, you are not going to see any improvements on those fronts. None. It's going to get sunk into the deficit. I'm not arguing against the tax per se, I know why we're doing it, but I just want to be clear with the public. If we pass this, you're not going to start seeing Lazaro out there paving roads. It's not going to happen. You're not going to see a new school building. You're not going to see new school equipment. It's not going to happen. If anything, it's going to go towards the health insurance increase. That's where it's going to go. We were just told the health insurance is going to go $4 million, minus the 1.8, you're at plus 2.2. It's going to go to that. Now, I get in the end, oh, well, that's 480. We didn't have to fund out of free cash. We can use it towards capital. Okay, in theory, yes, but the way it's worded, it's like, it's almost as if we're taking the 480 and we're earmarking it in the budget for a specific purpose. That's how the message comes across, because I've had residents contact me and go,
I have a point of order.
Councilor Di Natale has made his point. He's just repeating the same information.
yes, once again, I'm being shunned by the usual crowd.
Counselor, just move from point to point, that's all.
I'm sorry to the public. You're not going to hear this unless I say it, okay? It's not going to anything extra. It's going to plug a deficit.
Point made. Anyone else? Councilor Brochman.
With me, Andy.
Go ahead,
Oh, go ahead. You're younger.
All right, Vice President Van Hazen.
Listen, I'm in favor of this meal tax, where it's going to go in the general fund or not, because you know it and I know it. You sat on the finance, you did a really good job, and I hate to tell you that, but you did. School net spending, we had to invest over $1 million just for busing alone. You know that. And we're all upset because school costs us $1 million that we had to use to give them out of, I believe, free cash, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That was additional revenue.
Right, additional revenue. So if we get, we say $500,000, I have no problem if it goes to the health care, if it goes to net school spending. I have no problem with that. I believe honestly, to be quite frank with you guys, I think as a council, we should come up with a plan to solve the problems of the roads, not this $500,000 job. We should be doing that now. That's what we should be doing. That's our job. We should take care of the roads. We should come up with a plan and propose it to the public. And you know that, Andy, and you know it.
I know, so but you also know what I'm going to tell you.
Let me explain something. The reason why I didn't vote for it, 2 times we put it. I put in it with Tom Donnelly many years ago underneath the Lisa Long administration and never came up. The petition went somewhere, but it never came up. Because I estimated we were going to get $250,000, and I wanted to use that for the DPW. Then Angelo Bizzo, you remember that, everybody here, he came up with a real good plan. But the only reason why I did not support it, because I don't believe that much in economic development. I believe the city should do a share, and we do it that way. That's how I felt, and I still feel that way. So I didn't vote for that way either. But I will support this tonight. I think it's a good plan. I think wherever it goes, we need the help. We don't have the revenues, and if it saves one job, then I'm all in favor of it. Because I really don't want to lay off people. But believe me, if it comes, there's going to be a lot of surprises, and it isn't going to be what everybody thinks. But I just tell you, I support it. I think it's a fair plan. I think it's good. I think it's good for the city, and we have to adjust the roads. I'm telling you, Anthony, we have to. And you too, Andy.
I'm not going to do anything.
So
I don't think anyone wants layoffs.
I yield the floor.
Vice President Van Hazinga.
Thank you, Mr. President. This weekend, I ran into the owner of a food service establishment in Fitchburg, a very successful business, has a lot of customers, a lot of business, and he, unsolicited, said, you know what, I support the tax, because it won't do anything to discourage business. It's a rounding error. It's not much, and the city needs it, because, frankly, we're in a deep financial hole, and we need to climb out, and we need to take every step we can, and that includes controlling expenses wherever we can. And it also includes trying to find more sources of revenue. And last Friday, I took a couple of my kids out to breakfast before school, and on the cover of the Sentinel was a story about the proposed meal tax. So I took, at the end of breakfast, I took a look at my bill and calculated, okay, what would my meal tax be? It was 24 cents. It's not going to keep me from going out to breakfast. It's not going to make me drive to a different town to go eat. It is a rounding error. but it's a rounding error that adds up and provides the city with additional revenue. And will it push us out of the hole? Will it solve every problem? No. But it's one step, and we need to take every step we can. We need to find more steps through this. To argue about how this is being presented and messaging is completely asinine. That's besides the point, is that we have a big financial problem in the city. We have a budget crisis that is coming this summer, and we need to turn over every couch cushion we can, find all the spare change we can, find new sources of revenue. We need to control expenses to get through, because otherwise we have a reduction in service. We have layoffs. We'll use up all our free cash. We can't spend it on things. We can't spend it on new DPW trucks to drive the hot blocks when we're filling potholes. We can't spend that on new pumper engines that we need for the fire department that we have to order with a 5-year waiting time. That we have to act because we need to do things. And to say it's inconsequential, no, it's not going to solve any problem. But we need to take every step we can. And we need to concentrate on putting the city on better financial footing, because we have a crisis. It was bad last summer. It's going to be worse this summer. It's probably going to be worse the summer after that. That until we see the light at the end of the tunnel, we need to take every avenue we can to make sure the city survives and make sure we can continue to provide the services we need to provide to the residents of Fitchburg, that we can invest in our capital infrastructure. Because if we go through a barren spot where we can't order the new fire engine, where we can't replace DPW trucks, where we can't fix buildings that are falling apart, even when we get to the end of the tunnel, we're going to have a crisis because we have all this deferred capital investment that we haven't been able to make because we've been spending it all on balancing the budget every year, and that's not sustainable. So we need to do what we can to put ourselves in the best financial footing and improve the situation in the city, make it more fiscally possible that we can get through this budget season and improve our position. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Fleming.
Yes, hi. I think it's easy for people to say that this is not a big deal, that it's not a big tax, when you're working full-time and making a decent salary. But when you're retired and you're a senior citizen, I've had a lot of phone calls from senior citizens who this is going to affect, not only because the state is going up 2% on their taxes, they want to tax their cable boxes, they want to tax their medication. This little tax that we're talking about is just going to add to the burden. So I am not going to vote for any new taxes because our seniors are the ones who are going to be suffering, not those that are still working full-time. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I go to Councillor Giannatalli for the second, I have Councillor Cragen for the first time.
Sure. So I was hoping we would implement this years ago. I mean, it came out in 2009. So I am a resounding yes for this because I've talked to folks who have businesses, and when you take the 75 cents for the $100, it comes down to 7.5 cents for $10, or a 3 and a 3.25 for $5. I hope my addition is okay. Councillor Di, you're better at that stuff than me. But I just see this as an opportunity that the state has said to us, do this because we're giving this to you. We're giving you this opportunity. So we're kind of behind the times not to have implemented it, and I'm very glad that Leominster is moving forward with implementation as well. So I am a resounding yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Kuchar.
Thank you. I've been thinking about this a lot, and unfortunately, Fitchburg has a lot of restaurants, but really not much of anything else. And if not implementing this tax is going to bring more people in, if the surrounding communities are going to be implementing this tax, I just have a problem putting tax on some of the poorest and the elderly. Because if we do that tax, they're not going to be able to afford the Happy Meal for the kid. They're not going to be able to afford, going out for a decent meal every now and again. So I would say no on this one. I really would. I think it would hurt the only businesses that we have, which would be restaurants, because less people would be going out.
Thank you. So before I go to Councillor Giannatalli for the second time, I'd just like to make a few remarks for the first time. First, I'd like to second what... Oh, I'm sorry. I will allow Councillor Cruz to go first.
No, it's okay, Mr. President. If you'd like to go, I wanted to make sure you saw that my hand was up.
I did not, but thank you for making sure. Thank you. I want to second what Vice President Van Hazinga said. I have also spoken to some restaurant owners and to the chamber, and they have basically been unanimous in saying this isn't going to hurt us. in terms of their volume of business. You literally, and thinking about it logically, you literally would spend more on gas to drive out of the city to eat somewhere else without the meals tax than you would save on the meals, on not paying the meals tax. And I'm also very sensitive to the problem of people on a fixed income. I should say to the problems faced by people on a fixed income. But realistically, if you do the math out, it just doesn't figure. If you go somewhere cheap, if you pay for a $10 meal, like Councillor Cragen said, that's 7.5 cents. I don't know. I know people on fixed incomes. I know people on very small fixed incomes. I don't know anyone who would say 7 cents makes or breaks my budget. 7 cents means I will or won't pick up a product, unless they're buying in bulk, of course. You know, obviously, if it's a bulk rate, that makes more of a difference if it's 7 cents per unit. But I think everyone knows what I'm saying here. And then if you go to the other end of the scale, you think about someone goes to eat at Dario's. They drop, let's say, $100 on a family meal, probably more than that, if it's depending on what everyone's getting. And they see that they're now paying $100.75. No one even considers that. No one's even going to look at it on their bill. Quite frankly, when you eat at a place like that, you don't look at anything after the decimal point on your bill. It's if you were, you wouldn't be eating there. So at the low end, I feel like the tax will be almost impossible to notice. At the high end, you'll be able to notice it, but you won't care. And this is what I'm hearing from, again, the business community as well. They don't believe that anyone's going to skip eating at their establishments because of this. And frankly, I'm more inclined, they're the ones who are going to literally, you know, their judgment of what sells and what doesn't is what they live or die on. So I'm inclined to trust their judgment. If they're not worried about it, I'm not worried about it, because it also matches my intuition. Everything pulls in the same direction for me. That being said, I have Councillor Cruz for the first time.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, I just want to, without repeating the sentiments of some of my colleagues, I think this is something that we're in a position that we need to do. Tough times call for tough decisions, and this is one we have to make. It will bring in a significant amount of revenue. It won't cut into the entire structural deficit that we find ourselves in, but it's a piece of that puzzle we were talking about before. And we are a little bit late to the party on this one. We're going to be the 261st municipality in Massachusetts to take this up of 352. And I know we don't like to compare ourselves, but Councillor Cragen mentioned it. Leominster is implementing this. Gardner, Lunenburg, they all have this sales tax, and it has not seemed to hurt their business. And if anybody was to go to another community for a meal because we have it, there's a really good chance that that community already has the sales tax as well, the meals tax. So I really feel like there's something we need to do. I'm sensitive and empathetic to individuals on fixed incomes or low incomes, but the numbers here, 75 cents on a $100 bill, that's a difficult decision that I'm willing to make. And also, this isn't something that we get on groceries or gas. The really necessities in life. We're not charging a tax on everything. This is if you can go out and buy a meal. So I'm in favor of this. I know that it's been proposed many times before. I think we've gotten to the point where this is a decision that we need to make. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor.
Thank you. Councillor Schultz.
Yeah, I just wanted to say about the viewing public that this rate has been in effect since 2009, this 0.75%. And so the state would have to change that rate, because some people are concerned that, with any tax, it always goes in the direction of increasing. So that wouldn't be, the state would have to change that rate
The state would need to increase it, and then the city council would need to adopt any rate increase.
So this rate is going to stay in place for
However, the 6.25% sales tax on meals that the state currently implements right now, that could change with the state budget, that we are not, we have no authority over the 6.25%, the $6.25 on a $100 meal.
Could that percentage, that 0.75%, could the state change that with the state budget as well?
Sure.
Yeah, right now, it's possible. Right now, there's a bill before the legislature for the Municipal Empowerment Act, and one of the elements in there is to place another ceiling on this, maybe to go to 1%. But so the state would have to say, yes, we're going to offer that as an option, a local option, and then this council would have to vote that for that to happen. It wouldn't be automatic, but it is possible because, again, a lot of municipalities are facing pressure, and it gives them another tool in their toolbox.
Thank you for that clarification.
Thank you. Councilor Giannatalli, second time.
Councilor Van Huizinga could have wrote this letter, because what he said is what I'm trying to get across. If he wrote the letter, what he just said, I think it would go a long way to explaining to many people in the public why we need to do this. Because if you read the mayor's letter, you're thinking we're going to get all these extras. So I'm sorry if I'm harping on the messaging, but I've had people contact me and go, why are we doing this? Oh, we're going to get better roads, better schools? Well, who's against that? And I tell them, I'm not getting any of that. It's going to go to plug a deficit. He explained it perfectly in 3 or 4 sentences. I would take out 3/4 of the letter the mayor submitted and just start with budget challenges. That's why this is happening. It's important to explain to people why we're imposing a new tax. That's not asinine. What's asinine is telling them we got to address core needs in road infrastructure when $480,000 won't get you bupkis. Okay? Just tell the public we have a massive deficit. He did. That's why they're doing this. It infuriates me when I have people call me and go, oh, we're going to get all this extra stuff. No. Where are you getting that? Because I read the letter. The letter is bunk.
Counselor, point's been made.
I'm sick of people being misled in this city. You're paying a deficit down. That's all this is.
Point made. Thank you.
Make a motion we accept.
Second. I have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. In opposition? 4 in opposition. Motion carries by a vote of 7-4. And that concludes the business of the council as a whole committee. I have a motion to adjourn. When we adjourn, we will immediately convene the appointments committee under Councillor Kuchar. So I would ask any councillor who is not on appointments to please remove themselves to the gallery. And we are adjourned.